Today we're going to make a flying saucer. Start with your first color and take about half, maybe a little bit more of the container. Oops, put that back in the container so it doesn't dry out. And start with a ball. Roll all of your Play-Doh into a nice, smooth ball. Okay, now the flying saucer that we're making today isn't a sphere, it's a hemisphere, or at least this part of the saucer. So what you want to do is cut this in half, and taking a piece of dental floss is a pretty effective way of doing that. So just take your dental floss and push all the way through the ball, all the way down to the bottom. Take that out. And voila, you should have a nice hemisphere with a smooth and flat cut on the bottom. And you can tamp it down a little bit if you got a few uneven edges. And then let's put this back in the container so that it doesn't dry out, because hey, that's one of the dangers of Play-Doh. All right, so this is the basic shape of the craft body. But any alien who wants to fly around is going to want to have some portholes. They're going to want to see out. So we're going to take a plastic straw and push into the sphere, half sphere, evenly spaced around the ball. Push it in, I don't know, a quarter inch or so. And just make a row of these all around the edge. There we go. And now we're going to actually pop out the material that's in those holes. So take your toothpick and pop out the inside material. This, you'll see why in just a minute. Oops. Try not to pop out more than the hole. All the way around. We're just gonna take that out, and if you get a little ding in the outline of the hole, then just smooth that out. And it doesn't matter that there's a lot of gunk in the inside, because that's going to be hidden. So all the way around, we're just taking out the material that's inside those little cutouts. There we go. Okay, and now put your scraps back in the box. Let's take a contrasting color, like pink, and we're going to make a snake, that basic Play-Doh shape, the snake. Try to roll it out to the diameter or thereabouts of your plastic straw. So we want to stretch this guy out kind of thin. And we got, I think, I forget, 5 or 6 windows, portholes. So let's make some little pieces. 4, 5, let's try 6. I forget how many holes we had. And now make a smaller ball. That actually looks like it's a little too big. Let's cut this down a bit. Make a little ball out of the contrasting color, and then push it into the hole that you have created. And let's work our way around with this contrasting color, making filling for the portholes. Okay. See how that covers up the kind of ragged looking interior of those holes, so we don't have to worry about that. One more. So now here we have a choice. You can have your craft have sort of bulbous portholes, but I like them flat. So I'm going to take the knife and just flatten them out all the way around so that they look aerodynamically smooth, right? Our craft is going to be flying around and they don't need any friction from protruding bits. Okay, so here we go. Now let's put these guys back on in the inside. Always, so we don't dry out our Play-Doh. And now let's take another contrasting color and make a kind of a skirt. Let's take about the same amount of material that you used for the starting ball of the dome, and let's repeat that. Well, let's try this. This might be too much. We want to make a kind of the bottom half, or you can call it a skirt, to the flying saucer. So we're going to make a ball, and this time we're just going to flatten it out. Squish it out, keeping it round. And if you get crinkly edges, you can flatten those out as you go by rolling it on the edge. And just keep going. Make this wider than the diameter of the top dome. And we want to keep things round and smooth. And because we're flattening it out on the board here, the side that's on the board side, the piece of the Play-Doh that's on the board side is going to be really nice and flat. And the finger marks will be only on the one side. So if we go back and forth, flipping it over like a pancake, you get a pretty nice even surface. You can smooth out any bumps on the edges. So now let's see how that looks. Ooh, that looks pretty good. So now we're going to just position the ball, the dome, the green dome, on top of the blue skirt and push them down together. And if you have two nice flat-ish surfaces, they should adhere successfully without too much additional support. Okay, so now that's pretty good, but we want our flying saucer to be able to land. He needs some landing gear. There's a couple of ways you can try to do this. You can do it with toothpicks, but these are really thin, and this is a pretty hefty piece of Play-Doh, and I've found that if you use toothpicks, they just kind of fall through from the weight of this body of the saucer. So we're going to try using one of these plastic straws, and I want to cut a slight diagonal on the leg. So let's try this, and we want to have the same diagonal if at all possible. So just kind of eyeball that. Oops. Let's make a few of these, because I don't know if 3 is going to be stable or if we're going to need another 1 or 2. So let's do 4 and see what happens. Actually, let's do 5 just in case we need an extra. So now on the bottom, keep your diagonal positioned so that that will be the bottom, the foot of this support. And then just push this into the body of the saucer. And let's try this with a tripod at first. Let's see if 3 legs will be self-supporting. So we'll put these in a triangle shape so that the angled piece is going to be flat relative to the board. Now let's see if this works. Coming in for a landing. It's a little wobbly. So let's try 4 legs. I'm not going to get too concerned over the bottom. But let's give this guy another leg. and see if that makes him a little more stable. And I think that he seems more solid. Okay, so if you want to, you can redo the skirt or try to smooth this out, although it's on the underside, and that might not be a point of interest. You might not be looking at that too much. So there we go. Our little flying saucer has some landing gear. And now, being a responsible alien, he needs to be able to communicate with other craft and other beings. So we're going to give him an antenna. Let's take a piece of a toothpick and pop it right in there. That'll be his antenna. And we'll take just a little bit of the nice pink color. So we match what we have there, which gives you visual continuity. And we're going to make this amazingly useful acoustic device of mysterious function and just pop it on top of the antenna. And there you have it. Today's creation is a flying saucer with landing gear and a communications antenna. Coming in for that landing.